All right, so let me ask you this question. Why does beef play an important role in sustainable eating? Hmm. Well, the vegetarians wouldn't think that, would they? But welcome to the Mark Bishop Show. Now, according to the Environmental Protection Agency, the EPA, beef cattle are responsible for only 2%, 2 lousy percent of the greenhouse gas emissions in the US. Plus, cattle play an important role in protecting and enhancing our ecosystems. Did you know that? In all 50 states, by improving the soil health, increasing carbon storage, mitigating wildfires. Boy, is that important. And preserving wildlife habitats. See, there's a different side to everything, isn't there? So my special guest is Alex Seidel, chef and owner, and a James Beard Foundation Best Chef Award recipient. Welcome, Alex.
Thank you so much, Mark. Thanks for having me.
Oh, you're most welcome. I've been looking forward to this. I'm a meat eater, but you know what you're up against today. Despite the relatively low environmental impact of beef production, beef farmers and ranchers, they're dedicated to producing beef in a way that prioritizes the planet, people, animals, and progress. And this is a fact, isn't it, Alex?
Very true fact. I think when you look at beef production, and when you look at me and my career, very synergistic between beef. That's a big reason why I'm here, is to basically share that not all stories are true, and the beef association, the beef production cattlemen's have been doing a great job over the last century, and really working towards sustainable practices and regenerative practices that have really brought health to our ecosystem and have allowed us to produce different foods in areas that have been complete wasteland in the past. And to me, that is an ecosystem that is a part of our planet. And obviously, as people, we're concerned about our planet. We all should be. But beef plays a great role in one's diet. I talk about food as medicine, and the health problems that we have here are contributed to not eating proper and not having a balanced diet. And beef is certainly a big part of a balanced diet.
My word. Now, you know firsthand the benefits of building entire menus around beef. Your life and expertise and restaurant owner and chef and so on. That is an important part of sustainable food system. What's your take, though, on sustainability and quality food production? And how cattle contribute to a sustainable food system. And in fact, why cutting beef from any menu is misguided.
Yeah, there are restaurants and trends that you can see out there, and there's a lot of information and misinformation that is being used. And I think the most important thing is to educate yourself. Beef is a very important source of protein, multiple essential nutrients, iron. A lot of people are iron deficient, and B vitamins. And so when you talk about sustainability in beef, you have to talk about a complete practice. If you look at beef and the way it was raised maybe back in the early 1900s, when we didn't have as much information, and you look at the cattle that is raised today, completely two different products. Mm-hmm. And I think that's because the beef industry has just been so focused on maintaining relationships with family farms that are going to produce the best quality beef in the most regenerative way. We have 90% of the beef that is raised in America is raised by single family. And 90%. When you're raising food for you're also raising food for your communities. And that's important. And it's also an important relationship to understand who is raising your beef.
Yeah, very much so. And there's a lot of information that needs to be read. On the positive side, people, by the way, before I forget, I'd like you to go to beefiswhatsfordinner.com. Beefiswhatsfordinner.com. whatsfordinner.com. It's got all sorts of info on this site, menus, great reading. Bring yourself up to speed. You know, people talk about, oh, look at the cattle with the emissions going on and the gas emissions going on. Apparently, we're the lowest in the world, Alex, here in America. Emissions from cattle. I mean, the lowest in the world. Think about that for a sec.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you're right. CHG emissions, we've been a leader in the world as the lowest intensity since the early 90s. I talked about mid-century. I'm big into history, so I've looked back at what cattle production looked like a long time ago, but between 1961 and 2018, the beef industry has continued sustainable efforts. They've reduced emissions per pound, and they're producing larger animals with less food, less water, and it's because we've been grazing cattle for decades now, centuries. And all it has done is improve our ecosystem, cattle allow us to retain more moisture in our soils by grazing, and which in turn allows you to grow more things, more available foods, right? And has helped blossom other industries through areas of the country that would have never been able to been grown on.
Well, so it's true too. You know, you hear of nothing. You know, a lot of the negativities, but often the positivities are not put forward, Alex. But why? Let me ask you this, Alex. Why is sustainability so important for chefs and diners, for that matter? I mean, how does beef contribute to sustainable eating?
Well, as a chef, I take a very large role and responsibility in being an advocate for food and for consumers. I've been so well supported by my community of Colorado and outside of Colorado in my restaurants that I have an inner responsibility that I feel to educate people about good food and what it means to have balance. There are certainly trends that are going on in today's society, and there's a lot of rumors, but I'm also here to also provide information on where to find true factual information. You mentioned beef. It's whatsfordinner.com. It's a place where I send all my chefs when they have a question. Mm-hmm. Like you said, great recipes there, good cooking techniques. When you Google sustainable beef, that's the first website that pops up.
Very good. Well, I'd like to ask you, when you do look for, when you're sourcing food products, from the farms and ranches and so on, what do you look for?
Well, the cool thing about beef is 80% of it that is produced is prime or choice. So chances are you're going to get a good quality meat at your local butcher, your local supermarket. And so the key, I believe, is asking questions. It's so easy to walk by, pick up a package of beef and put it in your cart. But, to be able to ask, who's the rancher behind this? Where are they? What kind of feed they use? Asking questions gives you confidence that you're being able to provide the right meal for your family. And the great thing about beef is it's produced in all 50 states. It's produced by families. And I've never been to a supermarket that does not carry sustainable beef. It's available at every grocery store across the country. So you can feel good about walking up to a counter and know that you're producing good, sustainable beef. However, just asking those few more questions just really helps answer some of the misguided information that's out there.
Yep. Well, you've been around a long time. Back in, I think it was Wisconsin in 1973 when you landed on the planet. But you began your culinary career at 14, serving as a sous chef at Racine's Main Street Bistro by the age of 20 years of age. It's pretty cool. Attended culinary school, Western Culinary Institute of Portland. All this is on my site, folks. You can read about him. He's got a great history. He walks the talk, this fellow. He knows what he's doing. He really furthers the culture of cuisine while staying down to earth and championing the causes as food advocacy, mindfulness, and so on. Not just a matter. Alex, it's been a pleasure. I wish we had more time in this case, but I tell you what, the website, beef is what is for dinner, beefwhatsfordinner.com. That'll make up for the time, eh, mate?
Thank you, Mark. I really appreciate you giving me the platform.
Hey, you got it. And good luck with where you're going. It's a darn good cause championing. Thanks, Alex Seidel. You heard him here on The Mark Bishop Show.